to the RunRX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running. Welcome back to the RunRX podcast. This is your host, Coach Caroline, and I'm here with Coach Valerie. And today we're going to start talking about strength training. If you've been following Valerie for a while, you know she loves to lift heavy. I love that about her. So Valerie, what are some of the strength training? You give us a lot of strength training in what we do within the membership, but also within the free community. Let's talk about that. What are the strength exercises that you recommend?
Well, I will say, first of all, for running, I recommend body weight exercises. So as much as I love lifting, I tell people, just start with your body weight. And the best part about what we're doing with the strength training in RunRX is part of what we teach you in running, and this is really fun, is running without muscles. And which sounds really strange, right? But we're really learning how to basically rebound off the ground using muscle elasticity. And so you learn how to use your body weight in your run. So the strength exercise, the strength workouts we give you that strength to be able to do that. And we do that by giving you specific exercises for like hip strength, glute strength, foot strength. So it's full body, but definitely specific for running.
I love that word rebound, because actually when you think about, the elasticity hops or hopping, that's not landing, right? That's not stopping, that's rebounding. And I really like that thought. You've also taught skips and things like that. Those are good. Do those kind of exercises also build strength more than, as much as elasticity?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the best part. And the way we combine them is you're getting the skill, strength, and elasticity at the same time. So
right.
The purpose, they're all purposeful, but every drill we have is specific to help you pull your foot off the ground in your run. Right. And they're great exercises, of course. I mean, in any way, they're great exercises. But when you think about, if I'm trying to practice one movement for my run, and I practice it in different ways that just makes me better in that movement, I'm just going to have a better run.
That's true. Now, I'm going to ask you about what if, because you sometimes do things that I laugh at and I go, oh my God, I would fall on my face if I tried to do, say, I think you've done a couple of different lunge combinations where I'm either pulling with the front foot or I'm putting the weight on the back foot and pulling with the front foot, or reverse, where I'm actually putting my weight more on the front foot and I'm pulling up into pose, right? Right. What do you suggest if it's not feeling right, it's feeling heavy? Do you suggest I do those? Do you suggest I back out and just try to do a lunge? What are some things that I should be looking for if I'm not going to come into the membership? I'm just going to do your free stuff because that's how I want to do my practice. How would you suggest I listen to my body in doing that strength work?
Well, I would do a couple of things. One is on our YouTube channel, we have such a great practice where I actually talk you through the movement. And so, maybe to go back and try again, listening to the, what's going on, it should always feel good. And we really try to give you things that you can modify. And some stuff I just do because it's fun. But the reality is we have nothing, there's nothing that should happen that shouldn't feel good. It could be challenging like that. I don't mind. But, for the most part, I really try to break down the movement. And, and again, most of the stuff that I put out there, I feel like people can get started on and has a modification. But the fun part is that the basic strength is really standing in the running pose and doing the pulls and the fall practice. So if you even just go to that, first day of practice, you're going to start at least building that strength from there.
Okay. So that's a good point that I kind of want to make reference to, because I used to train with you obviously in the mornings, doing body weight, strength workouts. And I'll tell you guys, I didn't realize I was doing lunges incorrectly. I was actually, I think I was either leaning forward or basically looking at my knee. So I was actually not going straight down, not really being centered over my body. So I was actually putting more weight on my front leg as I was moving. And of course it would cause pain in my knee. It caused pain in my hamstrings and my quads, but mostly my IT band and my knee. And then Valerie corrected me and felt much better. I didn't move. She made me stay in place, right? Stay in place, do the correct movement. But I will tell you guys, my butt has never been on fire like it was the next day. Like if you do the movements correctly, you don't feel it during the movement, but the next day, I think we only did like 20 lunges or something. Well, it wasn't some insane amount.
Like you saying that just then. So one of the things that's important with strength training is you can do it in place. And you can correct yourself in place. Your coach can correct you in place, right? And and you learn the correct movement in place. Before you would go do a walking lunge, you have got to learn to do a stationary lunge or even a squat. And by the way, think about it. People always say running's bad for your knees. They also say squats are bad for your knees. You know, you hear these things. And it's, again, no, it's not. It's doing.
Then you better not go to the bathroom. Yeah, that's what I always say. I say, well, then you better learn to not go to the bathroom because that is what we do. We squat when we go to the bathroom anywhere.
Well, but but like me being able to correct your movement, you know, in a standing place, you know, like you said, I didn't let you move. I had to stood there with you and helped you feel how to move your own body and use your body weight. Exactly what we do when we train running. And that's the funnest thing about this is that as you're training these strength exercises and you relate it back to your running, when you go running, you're just that much stronger and more confident in your ability to do the running. That's what I love about it.
So let's talk about that too, because we've had a lot of people be like, oh, well, you only had me do 10 sets of drills. So I went out and ran 5 miles afterwards. Or I go to my boot camp and I do an hour and a half of training and you're just having me do like 3 exercises. I need more than that. They don't. And I know this guy's from experience. You don't need more than what she's giving you. I can guarantee you if you just did the correct movements and really did it with thought and with mindfulness of how you're moving. And that's all you did. 3 sets of 10 of those 3 movements of the strength. You will feel it the next day. You will need the self-care the next day. But talk about that because that's something we hear so much about in the world today. It's like, no, I need to get my Tabata in. Right. And
well, now here's the thing. So like I'm a fanatic. I'm a junkie. I love to work out. So then you've got to look at like, what's my goal? So as a runner, do I need to do a ton of strength training? No. So that's what we're saying with RunRX, that we give you strength training exercises to benefit you in your run. If you want to go and do a bunch of other stuff, go for it. We're just letting you know that the exercises we give you are really there to make you a better runner and to realize, I think we don't realize how much running is, you know, or even these workouts are. So when I give somebody a workout of, 8x200s, and there's a full warm up and there's a full cool down, and you're actually out there for almost an hour, there's a lot going on. And I think we'll just get caught up, just like with mileage. We really don't think, unless I got this distance in, that I got anything done. And again, that's why it's so cool to switch to movement-based movement. Because when you know you do the movement well, then you got the greatest workout. Because if you really run those runs, your heart rate was up, you were in the right pose, you were running well. And most people that do interval training will tell you it's enough. But again, we're not taking away long runs. Most of our runners are there to run for marathons, half marathons. Their running is there. We're just letting you guys know it doesn't have to be such a volume.
Well, and that's the other thing that we've talked about before is running burnout, because it isn't a season, right? And if you're doing it kind of for your sanity and to get away from, your kids for 30 minutes or whatever it is, or just have your alone time, whatever you want to call it. If all you're doing is just going out and running, I won't even get into the safety aspect of if you go out and run the exact same path every day, guys, that's not safe. I don't care if you're male, female, whatever. It's not safe. People will start to see that, but you want to mix it up for your own sanity, right? You should mix it up for your own. Let's talk about that, because I know in our strength plans, we have the short intervals, long intervals, and then long runs, so that there's a running with intent, there's a key reason for the run.
Right. And it's really fun, like a workout, if I, we do a lot of test retest. So if you have the short intervals, guys, are to develop muscle tendon elasticity, your ability to hold your fall and pull your foot up quicker from the ground. So that's the short.
And what do you consider a short interval? Is that like under 200 or under?
Anything under 2 minutes or less.
2 minutes or less. Okay.
2 minutes or less is a short interval. And you're also really developing the cardiovascular system. What we know now, we didn't used to know, is, working the shorter intervals develops your endurance. But working endurance all the time gives nothing back. It just makes you tired.
Wow.
And then the longer intervals are designed to make you, again, it's just progressing the same thing. Still the muscle elasticity, still pulling the foot quickly, however, much more real to what you're actually going to be running for your endurance run or your race. And those are going to be from 2 minutes to 12 minutes, all kinds of distances. And then we have a longer run, which we rotate doing kind of on the clock, and then more of just a run. And those are to help you test. You're always going to be ready to go for a longer distance, to practice your nutrition, hydration for training, your mindset. So that's what the longer runs are all about. And then, again, we love to have you do warm-ups, cool downs, and all of that with your run.
Okay, so now before you guys start emailing us and saying, I want your running plan, or how can I buy your running plan? You can't. We don't sell running plans. That's not what we're into. We don't do that kind of training. We have, I'm sure, Valerie, if you have a particular race you're doing, if you want somebody that's going to only be your one-on-one cheerleader coach for that race, I'm sure Valerie has people that she can recommend. But what we suggest is you come in to at least the first to 1/4 of the group of the RunRX membership. We will give you the plans. You can download them. Hopefully, the point is, though, that if you give us 12 weeks, we'll get you running pain-free. We hope you stay on with us. We hope you stay your whole race with us, right? If you did decide to come in, you have February, if you're going to run in Chicago in October, and you want to come in and join us, yes, then you can have Valerie take you through her running plans, which are excellent, and I highly recommend it. So I would do that, but please don't email us and ask us for the running plans and ask us to sell you those, because that's not the purpose of what we're trying to do here. We're really, really trying to get you to run pain-free. So we'll hope you join us next week for our next episode. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRX podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.